here's one of those moments where how do you explain this stuff to your kids? As you know, Zan and Coop are locked in on fantasy. As a matter of fact, Coop beat his brother in fantasy basketball this past week. Although Zan has got the second best record in his league with his family and his Cooper's friends. The reason why I bring it up is, Coop had LaMarcus Aldridge. Oh. And, all of a sudden, poof goes LaMarcus because the coach is like, yeah, he's not going to play here anymore, and we'll see where he goes. And just like, Andre Drummond, who his brother's got, poof. Andre Drummond, we haven't seen. When was the last time he played a game? Was it January? Ooh. Was it January where they're basically Cleveland said, yeah, we don't want to pay you next year, and we'd like to trade you. And the trade deadline's not until like March. It was like mid-February or something like that.
Yeah, I'm checking.
It's just been it's insane. And so now LaMarcus Aldridge signs with the Nets. And my youngest son says, Dad, what's a buyout?
February 14th.
It's been 6 weeks, and then of course the Lakers now got Andre Drummond, and it'll be what? Will he go through the Blake Griffin the Brooklyn Nets training program where they don't play for 2 weeks because he haven't played for 4 weeks?
No, they need all the help they can get right now.
I guess. I don't know. The Nets did it without Durant. I know that the Lakers haven't been playing well of late because there's no LeBron and no Anthony Davis. But does it matter? Does it matter if there's no fans in the stands if you're a 5 seed or a 4 seed? Does it matter if there's no fans in the stands or there's hardly any fans in the stands?
I think it depends who you play.
So you don't want to be part of that play-in.
Exactly.
But the Lakers aren't going to get that far down.
I don't know, man.
You really think the Lakers are going to wind up in that play-in scenario?
A couple of the people we talked to last week, Rick Bucher and Tim Legler, said it's looking likely that they could finish at least 7th. 7th, you're in the play-in.
The Utah Jazz are hoping that that's not the case because they don't want to see the Lakers sitting at
it's a 7 or an 8 seed?
Yeah. Oh, that would be awful for them.
Look, let's just place that aside.
True.
Let's place it aside. Once again, the NBA's got to do something about something that is very difficult to legislate. Like the dumbass load management problem that they had. Which I guess is still a problem. But now that it's not called load management, now that these teams have actually ascribed a body part to what ails the player, it doesn't look like load management, even though it smells like load management, it walks like load management, it sits like load management, but we don't call it load management anymore. And it's like, how do you actually legislate against this sort of thing? The NBA's got to do something about high-quality players who have either overstayed their welcome or the teams don't want to pay him anymore or won't pay him in the next coming year, and they know they got to get out, and the rest of the league knows that they're going to get out. So why trade for him? Let's just wait until they are bought out. We should not have a situation in the NBA, certainly with the Brooklyn Nets, where it looks like Kevin Durant is still choosing his all-star team. Like Team Durant is still being put together. No, Kevin, this is not for the all-star game. This is for the actual league. It looks like that's what he's doing. He's like sitting there on TNT. They should do that. They should basically do that. They should actually have Durant live on TNT, calling these guys up and choosing his all-star team. Calling Blake, calling LaMarcus, clearly, being unsuccessful calling Andre Drummond. Just put it on TV, make it content if this is what if this is what the league is coming to. And I got to explain to my kids the reason why the Nets are getting every all-star possible in the middle of the season and why on their fantasy league page their player hasn't played in 3 weeks and then all of a sudden has a different uniform color on for his avatar photograph. Yeah, well, here's the deal. LaMarcus Aldridge wasn't going to be paid by the Spurs. And so what he did was, here's what happened. Andre Drummond, you see what the Cavs did is they got Jarrett Allen in the trade once Harden ate his way out of Houston. And and so they're not going to pay Andre Drummond and they don't want to get him hurt. So they just sat him and they tried to trade him, but the rest of the league understood that there's no shot that Andre Drummond wouldn't be bought out because everybody knows he's not going to be there anymore. And so unlike the Pistons, the Cavs have an owner who's going to basically make him wait it all the way out until you can't do it anymore, and then you'll buy him out. Presented by Rocket Mortgage. And so that's the way it's going in the NBA right now, kiddo. And I don't blame fans who may individually wear Kyrie's shoes, love Harden's game. Who doesn't like Kevin Durant? I mean, seriously. I don't blame NBA fans for wanting the Brooklyn Nets to lose every playoff game that they possibly can suit up for. What are we doing? What are we doing? Hey, rules the rules. Blake Griffin's free, bought out. Go get him. He's a free agent. Hey, Andre Drummond's free, bought out. Go get him. He's a free agent. Well, we couldn't get him. The Lakers get him, though. Okay. Anybody who is worth their salt in the NBA, who gets caught in some sort of contractual vortex or is part of a team that doesn't do very well in the first half of the season and they make some organizational choice that we're just going to go with the young guys and you're not going to get many minutes. And I know that's not what you want. At least the Pistons did Blake Griffin a favor and let him bounce early. At least they did him that favor so he could get back up to speed and not play for the first 3 weeks. And then dunk, by the way. I guess, would he not have been able to dunk if he wasn't sitting for those 3 weeks? And yes, I have Blake Griffin in fantasy. I am bitching about that. But I guess is that part of the new general managing? Is just pick your spots. You got yourself a team. You got yourself a championship team. Wait for another team to either no longer need the older player or realize they're not going to pay the older player. Wait till they're bought out and construct your own all-star team. That's the NBA for you right now, and it stinks. I think it stinks. Yeah,
it's tough.
I think it stinks. Honestly.
But we're still going to watch the finals if it's Lakers Nets.
I guess.
What I mean? Like,
I know, but
the play-in tournament is going to be exciting.
Oh, I'm not saying that the action won't be exciting.
I understand.
I'm just saying it's a bummer.
How we're getting there.
You go from super teams to now all-star teams that are constructed based on economic problems faced by other teams. And that's how you put a championship team together. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.